is the South Florida Axis, and I'm Lebro. For this episode, we talked to Danielle Gomez Ortigosa, a Miami influencer, about her platform, Journey of a Braid, which is about braiding with a purpose, braiding hair. We spoke to Miami Young Republicans and Democrats, the Perez Art Museum, Vizcaya Museum and Gardens, and we found out what South Floridians are thinking about the upcoming holidays. But first, let's get you up to date with Valeria Venturini.
Welcome to another Hot Minute. We're going to kick off with coronavirus. Florida has added more than 9,000 cases.
Yes, Vale, and a not so hot take on this. Miami-Dade alone accounts for nearly 2,000 of these cases. But I guess on a brighter note, we can talk about Moderna's vaccine, which is proven to be 94.5% effective.
And not only this, Moni, but performer Dolly Parton donated $1 million to coronavirus research, which went towards Moderna's vaccine, early research and development.
And Vale, switching gears a little bit, we have to talk about this year's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree because it's been widely talked about on social media and maybe not for the best reasons.
Users made some fun of how this tree looks, making a ton of jokes. So I definitely see it looks a bit drowsy, Moni.
Me too, I see it.
But wait, there's more.
They rescued a tiny owl from the Christmas tree, and this tiny guy is now recovering at a wildlife facility. That's all for today.
We'll catch you next time.
South Florida Access reporter Andrea Gonzalez found out what plans Miami Young Republicans and Democrats have post-election. So let's go ahead and see what they had to say.
Following the 2020 election, there has been clear victories on both the local and national level. Although Joe Biden has been named president-elect, some still await the outcome of recounts before officially naming a winner of the presidential election.
So right now, since Trump hasn't conceded, we have not basically put out a statement that, Trump has sort of acknowledged a concession because there are still legal proceedings going on. There's still recounts. There's still that slim possibility that, a legal decision could take away certification of votes for Pennsylvania. And, we never know what could happen with these recounts. But looking into the future, beyond that, just us as an organization, we're going to continue advocating for things that are important to young people in Miami-Dade County. Whether it's maybe, young people, they want to get their own place, or young people trying to find work themselves. What is it about the policies in Miami-Dade County specifically that is probably preventing that, or things that could help them do that? We're going to keep advocating for those things. We're going to also keep collaborating with other organizations.
Some residents are celebrating the victory of a new mayor, as Daniela Levine Cava became the first female mayor for Miami-Dade following the election. The group Miami-Dade Young Democrats, who endorsed Cava, are happy about her win.
So we're looking forward to being to those community meetings, meeting with her and just, discussing her plans and actually, doing something for our community, so that it's just not, words or just something being said to get folks, on board, but it's something that's going to be legitimately done.
Both Miami-Dade Young Democrats and Republicans look forward to continue working with the community following the election results. From South Florida Axis, this was Andrea Gonzalez.
Wondering what you can do nowadays in Miami while staying safe? South Florida Access reporter Valeria Venturini talked to people in 3 places to show what the Miami experience can look like.
You've probably been in your room for too long, and I get it, because so have I. That's why the South Florida Access wants to show you what you can do this holiday season and where you can still go, starting off with places like this.
So with COVID restrictions, we've reduced the number of people who can be on site, really trying to ensure an outdoor, low-density experience.
Vizcaya is also preparing for the upcoming holidays.
And we're starting that installation this week. It'll be up all the way through the new year. The gardens have lights as well, and then we do a couple of extended evenings during December 4th and December 30th, so people can come and visit sort of low-key evening with friends and family.
The Perez Art Museum is also working towards the weeks ahead. Director Franklin Sirmans mentions what Miami can expect.
So we'll be open. We'll be open Thursday to Sunday, and gearing up in a way for Art Week in Miami, and that always happens, and it doesn't change this year just because there's no Art Basel coming to town. We're still Design Miami is happening in the Design District, and that's a big partnership for us.
Sirmans also adds how the pandemic has shifted some of the logistics and the museum experience.
In the past, sometimes people come to the museum, you don't know which direction to go in. You look, you see a painting, you go that direction, or you go that direction or this direction. Now we have a prescribed route.
And if you visit these museums and want a change of scenery, you can head over to Zoo Miami.
So Zoo Lights at Zoo Miami is coming again at the end of November through the end of December. We'll have 12 nights of beautiful lights and a brand new LED holiday tree that's sponsored by our partners at FPNL.
It's only November, but hey, Christmas is right around the corner. So here's what South Floridians talked to our reporter, Paola Marcano, about it.
The holiday season is almost here, but so is COVID-19. We're here to find out what people are about to do in the holidays.
These holidays will be celebrated socially distanced while people reminisce upon the challenges they are facing in these unprecedented times. It's different because of the masks. There's fewer people in the streets, but we will be more united. The pandemic's great impact on the holidays has brought families closer because they have learned to appreciate the little things that might not be there tomorrow. Not only will the celebration be different this year due to the coronavirus pandemic, but holiday shopping has been affected as well.
It's a lot different. You don't want to go anywhere. And everybody has to come out in masks.
Everything. It's everybody wants to get everything all at once so they can decorate to have something cheerful.
It's harder because with the mask and everything and being careful and touching everything. And also before everyone would just go out. Now it's more less people and you're more aware of your surroundings.
The staff and employees in Christmas Palace and other stores are doing what they can to adapt to the situation and offer customers the best possible experience.
Customers can sanitize their hands as much as they want and go around the store, pick up something, clean their hands, real quick. We sanitize the whole place and everyone can use hand sanitizer as many times as they want in the different locations, and everyone has to wear a mask before coming into the store.
I hope you have a fun and safe time during the holidays. This was Paola Marcano Bolivar for South Florida Access.
Danielle Gomez Ortigosa is an artist and influencer, and most importantly, she braids hair with a purpose. South Florida Access's Yuseli Solis got to find out more about this.
What exactly does Journey of a Braid mean to you? How do you define it, and what does it mean to you?
Journey of a Braid for me, and this is something that changes all the time and that has become an exploration, particularly right now as we go through COVID. Because it has always been the space that I have to communicate certain insights that I have, or my art, because I love doing photography, that kind of photography that sort of touches upon colonization and all these themes that haven't been spoken enough to a certain degree. But then right now, what it has become, I'm trying to open it to conversations. So I just started the podcast, which is Braided Conversations, where I'm mostly talking with poets. This season is all about poets. Next season will be all about art. And it's just bringing these conversations to life, because I think I've had an incredible opportunity to meet spectacular people that have led my way. Obviously, we are always standing in the shoulders of others, sort of like what Kamala Harris was saying recently. And so what I want is to open that up so that other people listen to these conversations, to leave these little seeds. I think we're quite lost. And what has been really hard for me right now in this transition of Journey of a Braid is I started being a journalist at Condé Nast. I used to write for Glamour. And that's how it started. It was fully fashion. And fashion was never enough for me. I come from a marketing background. I understand the power of fashion. I understand the power of beautiful things. But I also see that has led us to become an extremely, capitalistic is not the word, but we consume so much and we want more and more and more. And it's a never ending hunger. And so I sort of diverted from fashion and I went more into matters of the soul, the heart, ancestors, and started talking more about that story. Journey of a Braid is a platform that I started about 3 years ago, and the main intention has been showing people that braids are a portal into the soul, and that the things that we do and that the way we start our day should always be with intention. So every time I braid my hair, I have this connection, and it's a very special connection, almost with ancestral power, you can say, or ancestral stories, because your hair, which is something that we're used to just cutting and styling, you know, like accordingly to whatever the trend is, has a lot of power. And originary people, native tribes, know these things, and that's the reason why they usually have their hair long. But in a way, when the conquest arrived, we started cutting our hairs, and that was a sign of being a conquered country or a conquered world in a way, you know, because this happened all over the place, and we forgot its power. I also grew up in Mexico, and I saw like this, you know, I don't know what happened along the way. I still haven't found when was the moment when women learned to be very confrontative, and you can even see it with younger girls. You know, they are like, I don't know, like if we were competing. Yeah. And I saw that on the workplace, full force. And I didn't understand it. And I saw that my culture sort of pushed me that way, you know, telenovelas, all these things. It's always women like fight. And so it's something to contrast that, because I think that the reason why the world is where it is right now is because there has been so much male energy that we've missed this connection to what brings life together, which is Earth, which is Mother Earth, which is the feminine figure of, you know, goddess to a certain degree.
How exactly do you get into braiding? Like, how did this all begin?
So since I was 6 years old, my mother wasn't around, but I had this nanny that came from a little town in Mexico called Amecameca, where the big volcano in Mexico is, the Popocatépetl. And I always did like these public speaking engagements at school and all that, because I always loved, you know, like I wanted to be an actress. So I was always into all this, the lights and, you know, that kind of thing. And my father was always very busy, and, you know, men are men in a way. But my nanny, whenever I had something special, she would braid my hair. And for me, she would wake up early. She also had a daughter that lived also in our home, but she would wake up early and take care of me and make sure that I was braided and ready to feel beautiful and to feel that inner power. And while she braided me, she would tell me all these stories from her little town. So for me, that was the closest to a motherly connection that I had. And then I was in charge of putting together a group of the top 50 women in Mexico for a delegation that was presided by Salma Hayek, going to the Women's Forum in France. And one day they all asked me to braid their hairs the way I had it. And that's when I realized how powerful the act of touching someone's hair and caving into their vulnerability is.
And that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay safe.